Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video over on PrizePicks. I got my 3 favorite plays for the World Cup games today. It's going to be absolutely sick. But first up, do me a huge favor, drop a like on this one. Takes you 2 seconds, completely free. So go ahead and do that. And now let's get into the plays for today. Because, guys, these games are looking absolutely insane. You got Portugal going up against Spain, 2 absolute juggernauts. Portugal have looked shaky at times, but honestly, Spain have also looked shaky. This could be a very, very interesting game with Spain potentially getting upset by Portugal. And then we got USA, Belgium, which is literally looking like a complete 50-50 on the betting markets. Nobody knows how this is going to go. Balogun's coming back in for the US. It's going to be absolutely sick. But guys, these are 2 insane games. And now let's talk about what happened yesterday. Because over on the YouTube slip, it looks like we cashed out Nusa very, very easily. Unfortunately, could not hit Konsa or Anderson. What happened was England went up early, actually went up early again, super fast, like within literally 2 minutes of them going scoring the first goal, they scored the second goal. And then when a team is up like this, they honestly don't really try to control possession. And if you watch my video back, I said I expected Mexico to actually score first. In that case, England would have been the one to control possession. So we got it kind of wrong there. And I mean, they both went under together, so it was still correlated. But yeah, thankfully, we still smacked out the other free play, which was draw or Norway. So the double chance at a plus 100. So to literally double your money, guys, and 1,000 on this, paid 2,000, of course, is REBET coins. But guys, you can lock this in on literally any app. I would recommend REBET, of course. But guys, if you want to get winning picks, just like this one, all you got to do is join up in the Discord. This one was posted in here for free. And guys, I'm posting in one pick every single day in the Discord now. I'm locking in. I'm sending these out. Analysts sending them out. So yeah. Dropped in Norway or draw and told you guys, lock this one in, bro. Brazil's not going to get the win, at least after 90 minutes. It's not going to happen. Norway were literally won that game 2-0. I know the final score line says 2-1. That last penalty goal doesn't really count. It was a absolute masterclass from Norway. I told you guys they were going to win. And what happened? They went ahead and did it. So yeah, Norway to win here or Norway or draw. Absolutely cash that one out for a 2x. So if you guys are not in the Discord, bro, first link in the description. Make sure you're locked in. It's super easy and you guys can get tapped in. Now, let's get into the plays for today. Now, the first play of the day is coming over on REBET. But guys, before I get into the pick, if you guys want to get 2 free months of VIP and a $100 deposit bonus, make sure you guys are signing up on REBET using code FFBAM. So if you're in any one of these orange states right over here, which is basically almost every single state, honestly, if you are using code FFBAM on REBET, all you gotta do is sign up with code FFBAM, deposit at least $10, and you're good to go. Then you can just text me the number right there or drop it in the comments. Say, yo, I just signed up for REBET using code FFBAM. I'll get you on not just 1, but 2 free months of VIP. Super easy to do. Just go ahead and get locked in. And you also get a $100 deposit bonus, which is sick. So if you put in $100, you're starting off with $200. And you can do the same thing, $50, start with $100. They're doubling whatever you put in there. I would recommend maxing it out. So put the whole 100 in there, then you'll end up with 200 so you can max out your profit. Now, getting into the first play of the day, it's going to be USA to advance against Belgium. So this is not technically USA money line because that would mean, after 90 minutes, this is just USA to advance. So whether that's on, money, a regulation, extra time penalties, whatever it is, as long as USA is the team to move on to the round of 8, we green this one out. So yeah, absolutely love this play. Belgium have looked very rough this entire tournament long. They have looked very rough. And am I going to come on here and say that USA have played the best competition yet? No, they honestly haven't done much either. But if you look at how Belgium have done, it's pretty poor. They drew against Egypt 1-1, and Egypt looked like the way better team in this game. Against Iran, they lost, or I'm calling this a loss because they got a red card too. It was bad. 0-0 against Iran. You cannot be dropping that. They destroyed New Zealand, but who cares? At that point, they really needed that. And then they beat Senegal. This was definitely their best game. But guys, they only locked in at like the 80th minute. Like I was literally watching that whole game, even though I'm not just saying that because they scored in the 85th and 89th minute. I'm saying that because they literally generated 0 chances, 0 quality chances in the first 70 or 80 minutes of this game against a Senegal team who is good defensively, but not ridiculously better than the USA. So USA's defense should be able to shut down Belgium here if they play anything like they have done in the last 4 games. And USA's offense has been rolling, especially with Balogun coming back. I absolutely love this one for the USA to go ahead and advance. At a minus 114, this is absolutely lovely. Now, like I said before, if you want my player prop of the day or my pick of the day, that might be player prop, that might be a straight pick or whatever the heck it is. Make sure you're in the Discord, bro. It's free to join up. Hit the link in the description. And now let's get into the PrizePicks plays of the day. We're starting it off in the outfield fantasy score tab. And we're hitting a guy who we actually just hit in yesterday, or no, 3 days ago. Last, time Spain played their video. which is a Yarzabal on the over on fantasy score. Now, this line is dropped to 8.5 up against Uruguay, or Austria, excuse me. The line was at 13.5. Now, it makes sense that the line has dropped, right? Of course, he's playing a better team in Portugal. But if we just look at why is this line so low, I still can't figure it out, bro. Fantasy score, you can see some of the most ridiculously mispriced lines. And this is what we hit yesterday, guys. Nusa on the under at 9 fantasy score. Green, that's super easy. Let's try to do it again with the Yarzabal here. And if I show you guys what happens here on the fantasy score stat chart. So yeah, if he scores, which he's around plus 200 to score right now. So it's possible, like a 30% chance, I'd say. If he scores, we're green easy. If he gets an assist, we've basically green that too. And there's around, I would say, a 50 to 55% chance of him getting either a goal or an assist. So this is super, super good for us because either one of those, we're basically green. Because if he gets 5 points here and just, the rest of the stuff should carry him over, honestly. But if we just look at his shots on target, if he gets 2 shots on target, that's 2 points, right? Or no, 2 points for 2 shots on target. Shots on his own, if he gets 3 shots, 5 points immediately, right? 2 shots on target, two shots. Ridiculously easy to farm points off of that. Attempted dribbles, he's going to have at least 1 or 2 easily in this game. Tackles attempted, he should definitely attempt a couple tackles, especially with Spain trying to high press against Portugal. And then the passes attempted is also another huge one where he can farm at least 20 passes, meaning he'll get at least 1 point from this. So if we just look at all of his other lines, right? His shots assisted, that's another point there. Shots on target, that's a goblin for a point there. Pass attempted, that's basically another point there. There's another 3 points right there. If we just look at all of these lines together, you can see, well, these points are adding up, right? All we need from him is a little bit more than 8.5. So basically 9 points here. We're greening this out easily. And need I remind you, his demon here is for 1.5 goals and assists. They wouldn't even put him out there for 0.5 goals and assists because it would have been a goblin. That's how ridiculously profitable this play is. So I love this one for Yarzabal on the over 8.5 fantasy score. In addition to that, if you just go to goals allowed, you can see Portugal's goalie is 1.5 goals allowed right here, basically meaning that it's kind of a toss-up that Spain could score. It's at least a 50% chance that they score at least 2 goals in this game. And I think it's very possible. And if a Yarzabal is the sole striker in this game, the number 1 guy at the top, which he has been this whole tournament long, then he is very, very likely to get at least one of those goals. So absolutely love this one for Yarzabal. It seems like this could be a more of an open battle and more of a higher scoring matchup like we saw in that Mexico game. And yeah, this one's going to be elite for Mikel Yarzabal right here. Now, getting into the second game of the day, we're going to our passes attempted, and you guys know where we're going. We're going to Tim Ream. We're going to Chris Richards on the over right here. Belgium have not controlled possession very well at all. If we look at what happened here against Senegal, this was a relatively even game. They score early-ish, 25 minutes, but it's still pretty even until the 50th minute when they go up by 2. And Senegal here, of course, did not have that much possession. 47% possession is still a ton for a team who was literally up 2 goals to nothing for half the game. It is a ton for a team who's up that much. So if you just look at how USA have done, they've been liking to control possession a ton. And you might go, wait. Are these guys on the downtrend now? Because actually both Ream and Richards had a bad game against Bosnia in terms of passes, right? But you got to think about what happened there, right? A team doesn't need to control possession when they're leading, and they don't even want to control possession when they're a man down. So what happened there was USA A was leading, and B got a player sent off in BELGIUM. So they were literally playing with 10 men, and they had the lead up against the Bosnia team. Of course, they're not going to need to pass the ball very much. After you just look at the passes time they were getting, and then after the BELGIUM foul, a bunch of these guys dropped, easily hitting the unders for their passes. I don't expect that to happen. That's very unlikely to happen again. And another huge thing that comes into taking the overs here is Ream and Richards are almost guaranteed to not get subbed out. Unless they are injured, these guys will likely not get subbed out. They are the 2 strong points in the defense, the 2 center backs, the 2 guys who are frankly running the least out of the rest of the players on the field. So that is a huge contributing factor as to why they won't get subbed out. And this is super important because if you look at guys like Pulisic, right? You could take him here on the over at 28.5, and at halftime he could have 25 and you're feeling great about yourself. But then at the 60th minute when he's got 27 passes, he gets subbed out, right? They just go, wait, what? But he was going to cash. Yeah, if he was going to cash, he played the whole game. But guys like Pulisic, guys like Tillman, especially guys like Dest here, are running an absolute ton, and they likely will get subbed out for fresh legs because that's going to matter a lot in their positions. I'm not saying fresh legs doesn't matter as a center back, but they are definitely going to be less tired than the rest of the guys are on the field. And especially if this game goes into extra time, which, like I said at the beginning of the video, it's basically a 50-50. If this game goes in extra time, this should be easy greens for both of these guys. So yeah, love these 3 plays, man. Oyarzabal, Ream, and Richards locking this in on PrizePicks. Take us to 5x. And yeah, that's all I got. I appreciate y'all watching the video, and let's make some money on the World Cup on Monday.